Home Bargains, B&M, you name it, I know. They're inexpensive, easy to go and find. If you need something, you can go and get it straight away. But honestly, I find more joy in finding things secondhand. It's kind of the treasure hunt thing, isn't it? So yeah, again, you don't need to spend all that money to buy new. You can always buy secondhand, save money, and have the joy of reusing something. So we base our business on circular economy. So I thought that we could really focus on that a lot more this year. So saving money and helping the planet at the same time is a win-win. So it sounds a bit gimmicky, but we're going to go with it. We're going to go with 24 things that we can thrift instead of buying new in 2024. Hello everyone, Happy New Year, Happy 2024. That seems really crazy to say, but yeah, 2024, blimey. Well, nothing much changes around here. The dishwasher's rumbling away in the background and Nick's upstairs trying to lay a carpet, so you'll probably hear lots of clattering about. Anyway, how are you? I hope that you've all had a nice restful time over Christmas and New Year. And if you didn't, I hope you've had a pleasant time anyway, just had some fun. And if you haven't had time to relax, at least you've had a break, I hope so. Yeah, we're getting back into it here now. We're starting to get back into work. Got the tax return to do. That's always good fun in January, and we always leave it to the last minute. Every year I say I'm going to be that person that gets it done early, but we've been in business now for about 22 years and we never have. And I don't think we're ever going to start. So yeah, still got that to do. We haven't been out thrifting yet this year, so I don't have a haul for you. So I thought I'd sit down and talk to you about things that you can thrift for yourself and things that you can always look for secondhand rather than buying new, and talk about things that we generally buy secondhand or look for secondhand rather than buying new. So I was thinking about this channel and the ethos of this channel, how it started, how it's evolved over the last couple of years, and what I really want to focus on for 2024 moving forwards. And that's really talking more about sustainability, reusing, recycling, and you know, that is what our passion is. That's what this channel is about. It's about buying things secondhand rather than buying new, and also reusing and repurposing what's already there. So that is really what we base our business on. We base our business on circular economy. So I thought that we could really focus on that a lot more this year and talk about circular economy, talk about reusing, and talking about a secondhand lifestyle really, which is what we've been living for the last few years. Really, since we started our business over 20 years ago, we've raised our daughter wearing secondhand clothes. She still buys secondhand clothes, she still goes charity shopping and shops in vintage shops. So for us, a business where we sell vintage and secondhand, antiques, collectibles, it isn't just about the business and about making money. It's all about a wider thing for us. It's about a lifestyle that we've chosen for ourselves and something that we're really passionate about. I'm hoping that you're here watching this because you're also passionate about it. Today's video is, well, I was going to do 25 things that we could thrift this year because it seemed like a nice figure. And then I was writing things down and my daughter said, why don't you do 24 things? It's 2024. So it sounds a bit gimmicky, but we're going to go with it. We're going to go with 24 things that we can thrift instead of buying new in 2024. So when I started writing this list, I started thinking about things that we use in the house, and the kitchen seemed like the obvious place to start. So that's where we're going to go first. So number one is kitchen utensils. Now, we do a lot of yard sailing, we go to charity shops, we go to boot sales, and there's always an abundance of kitchen utensils. Things like spatulas, spoons, whisks, you know, all that kind of thing. You see so much of this because people get bored of what they have and they have a clear out and they replace things, or they buy things they don't really need. So whenever I need something, I always just wait a while and then I find it secondhand eventually. Now, I know that it's probably so much more convenient and it's relatively inexpensive just to go and buy what you need. You know, you can go to the supermarket and find kitchen utensils very cheaply. Home Bargains, B&M, you name it, I know. They're inexpensive, easy to go and find. If you need something, you can go and get it straight away. But there's so much more satisfaction in finding it secondhand. At the moment, I am looking for a garlic press, and I also really want another metal spoon, another metal serving spoon. I've got one, but sometimes I find it's in the dishwasher and I think, oh no, I really need that spoon and it's in the dishwasher. I specifically want a metal spoon. Now, I've seen lots of plastic spoons everywhere and I don't want one of those. I want a metal spoon, because when I swapped to a metal spoon, I felt like I was never going to go back. It's sturdy, it lasts, they're brilliant. Anyway, those are the things that I'm looking out for at the moment. And yes, I could easily just go to the supermarket and find exactly what I want, but I don't want to do that. I want to buy it secondhand, because I would rather use something that's already there rather than buy something and add again to the abundance of utensils that's already in circulation. Similarly, crockery. We don't actually need anything at the moment, but I think because I go out thrifting so much and I buy vintage crockery for the business, I'm always swapping out our crockery, and you know, I get bored with things quickly and I think maybe that would work better, or I really like that style, and I find it really difficult to stick to one particular pattern or style. So I just pick up crockery that I really like when I see it and swap it out. I absolutely love Cathy Winkle, so if ever I see any sets of Cathy Winkle, I generally squirrel away one plate. So I've got a set of all different patterns of Cathy Winkle, and I'm building that up at the moment. The plates that we're using currently are the J.A.J. Pyrex Carnaby Tempo design, and we both really like that design, and we talked about building up a collection of it. And yes, I do love it, but I just think I would get really bored if I only had that pattern. And when you have a business like this, you know, that's the perks of the job. You can swap things out all the time. But again, as I was saying, there is an abundance of crockery out there, an abundance of it, vintage and the newer, more contemporary crockery. And I'm seeing that a lot in the charity shops at the moment, because people are having a New Year clear out, or they've had new sets for Christmas and they're getting rid of their old sets, and there's just so much crockery out there at the moment. So you never have to buy it brand new, you know, unless you want something specific and something special. Then I would say go to the charity shops, go to yard sales, go to boot sales, and you will just find so much crockery. So yeah, I get a lot of joy from secondhand crockery because it's kind of my thing. And my other thing is mugs. As you know, if you've watched this channel enough, you know that I love a mug. And I never buy a mug brand new anymore. Never, never. I think the last brand new mug I ever had was gifted to me, and that was a few Christmases ago, and it was a Cath Kidston mug. But honestly, I find more joy in finding things secondhand. It's kind of the treasure hunt thing, isn't it? You know that I love the Cath Kidston mugs, and I've been in the Cath Kidston shop a few times. Even when they had their closing down sales on, I looked at the mugs in there and I thought, do you know what? I just don't find as much joy buying it brand new as I do in finding one sat on a table somewhere or in a charity shop, and I say, oh, brilliant, yes, I haven't got that one, I'll get that one for my collection. So yeah, there's so much joy in mugs and glasses as well. People are always clearing out and swapping out, so you can, you know, if you need wine glasses, there's going to be a ton of them in the charity shop. You can always find something that you're looking for. Okay, so the fourth thing is pans. We've actually had a set that we've had since we got engaged, I think, which was a very long time ago, year 2000 we got engaged. So we've been using the same set of pans for that long. But if I ever need anything, there's so much. There is so much out there. And the joy comes when you find things that are expensive, like Le Creuset or cast iron skillets, or, you know, things that you would spend a lot of money on, and you find them for a fraction of the price. And there's a lot of stuff out there. We tend to resell the Le Creuset because it does fetch a nice second-hand value. But if I was so inclined, I know that I could find Le Creuset for myself out there, and it would be such a joy because I wouldn't be spending a fortune on it. So yes, pans. That's always a good one to look out for if you need them. I realise I'm going to have to start speeding up because I've been waffling on. I mean, I do get very excited about crockery, but I've been waffling on for a bit too long, and this video is going to be like 2 hours long if I don't get a move on. So number 5 is containers, and you just see them everywhere. I very rarely buy a brand new storage container or Tupperware container or anything like that because you just see them everywhere. So number 5 is containers or storage jars. Number 6 is electrical items. We bought our microwave secondhand. We have a secondhand coffee maker, although it does need a little bit of attention. So I haven't actually got it properly working yet, but it was only a £5. Yeah, coffee presses, you see them in nearly every charity shop, so you never have to buy one of those new. And things like toasters, our toaster was secondhand, and a lot of charity shops have electrical items that are pat tested these days. But you can also find these things on Facebook Marketplace. Nick buys and sells blenders and mixers all the time. Vintage ones and new ones, and we part them out sometimes as well. So, you know, we find an abundance of those. So you never have to buy that kind of thing brand new. You're always going to find it out and about. And tea towels. It seems like a strange thing to say, but yeah, I buy a lot of secondhand tea towels. I see them in charity shops, I see them wherever I go. People are always clearing out tea towels, and as long as they're in lovely condition, I pick them up. Moving swiftly on to the bathroom. Now, I've talked about this in the past. I always pick up secondhand soap when I see it, obviously unused. But yeah, you see bars of soap all over the place. People get gifted them, they come in gift sets. Some people don't use bars of soap, they just use the liquid soaps. So whenever I see unused soap, I pick it up and I collect that, put it in the basket in the bathroom, and then we've always got soap on the go. Likewise, hand cream. I find hand cream all the time. I very, very rarely, if ever, buy it brand new. And I buy it up when I see it, when we're out and about thrifting. And again, pop it in the basket, and then once one runs out, I know I've always got more. We very often find perfumes and fragrances at boot sales, and I'm not just talking about the stores where they sell lots of new things or wholesale things, but people just having a clear out, you find like almost full bottles of really lovely expensive perfume. So I tend to buy my perfume that way. Nick's bought a lot of different fragrances for himself that way. It's a really nice way of saving money and saving something from landfill. And candles. This pillar candle just here, that was secondhand. I found that at a yard sale. I think I found a job lot of tea lights, which are still going. I've still got tons of it, which I've been using over Christmas, and I bought those at a yard sale. All of the candles, the red candle that's burning there was a set of really nice John Lewis candles that I found in a charity shop. And the two at the back, I did end up keeping, and I can't remember her name now, but they were the green and white candles, the stripy ones and spotty ones that I found at the yard sale. And I bought a pack of, I think there were 6 candles, all unused, really lovely, expensive, bougie candles. And I thought, do you know what, just gonna treat myself. Bought the box for £5, and I've been using those 2 over Christmas, and they've lasted ages. I suppose that's what you get with expensive candles. But yeah, I never buy candles brand new. I pick them up whenever I see them, and I put them away, so I've always got some to use throughout the year. Things like bubble bath and shower gels, I tend to find those secondhand. I found an unused bottle of Body Shop shower gel in the charity shop the other day, which I was really pleased about because it was one of my favourite fragrances as well, so that was a bonus, and it was only 99p. Our soap dishes and toothbrush holders tend to be secondhand, and again, it's another thing that's fun to find, and you can always swap them out, resell the one that you have, or send it back to the charity shop, sell it on the boot sale, whatever. But yeah, you can have fun with that kind of thing, and you can find different soap dishes or things that you could use as soap dishes. At the moment in our ensuite bathroom, I'm using a really nice sort of floral Art Deco. I don't know if it was intended to be a soap dish, but it works really well as one. And then in the main bathroom, you might remember the fish that I bought, like a ceramic fish dish, I suppose. Yeah, I decided to use that as a soap dish, and that's in the main bathroom at the moment. So yeah, I might swap those out at some point once I've had my use of them. But at the moment, I'm enjoying them. So then I moved on to thinking about the bedroom and what we use secondhand in there, what we look for secondhand. Clothes are the obvious one. I don't think I've bought anything brand new from a clothes shop for many years. I made a decision a long time ago to step away from fast fashion in terms of brand new fast fashion. I do buy fast fashion from charity shops, but that's different because I'm not buying it brand new. I'm actually reusing something that's already there. So yeah, all of my clothes, pretty much 100% secondhand, unless it's something that I've had for years. Bedding. I find my bedding secondhand in charity shops, sometimes at boot sales as well. People, again, have clear outs and swap out stuff and have a change, and they get rid of their bedding. I buy a lot of vintage bedding. In fact, I've got drawers full of it that I need to list this year. So that's always fun to find vintage bedding and to use that. Yeah, so you never really need to buy brand new bedding. I do tend to buy like fitted sheets, but most of my pillowcases are vintage or secondhand, and sometimes you can sort of mix and match. You don't have to have a whole matching set, especially if you're using lovely vintage patterns. All the beds that we have in our house we bought on Facebook Marketplace, so you don't have to spend out a ton of money on beds. We did buy a brand new mattress, but I think every now and then that is a necessity. But the bed frames themselves, you don't have to spend a fortune on. Trying to think what we spent on ours. I think Ellen's double metal framed bed was about £50. Ours was a bit more, we've got a king size. But yeah, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, anywhere like that you can find secondhand beds and also secondhand furniture. So that works for the bedroom, but also for wherever you are in the house. I'm looking around and I'm thinking pretty much everything I'm looking at is secondhand. This table and chairs we were kindly gifted. We've got 2 lovely G-plan chairs either end that we found for £5, absolute steal, at a yard sale. I think that was last year. We have a lovely bureau there, which is actually kind of an heirloom. It was Nick's Nana's. What else have we got? I've got a stool over there, a wicker stool. That was secondhand from a jumble sale. Our sofa was secondhand. We've got another vintage bureau in there in the living room, which was secondhand. Tables, occasional tables, you name it, you can find it. The occasional tables that we've got in there, the coffee table, the nest of tables, and then I've got one that I have in the window. They were all from yard sales. And if you're looking for a specific thing, then looking online at places like, as I say, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Vinteria, if you're looking specifically for vintage stuff or antiques, yeah, you can find secondhand all the time. Absolutely no need to buy brand new. Also antiques shops as well, you know, antiques shops, rummage shops, charity shops have an abundance of secondhand furniture, so you don't have to spend a fortune. Lamps is the next one. Yeah, I tend to buy all of my lamps secondhand now. Our bedside lamps were secondhand in all of the bedrooms. All of the lamps in the living room, they're all secondhand. I'm looking at one right now in front of me, that was secondhand. Yes, I don't buy lamps new anymore because you just find them everywhere. And all the curtains that we have been thrifted as well. If I'm looking for something specific or a specific length, again, I'd probably look online and find something that's suited, but I tend to just pick up curtains that I really like because I resell them as well. And if something fits, all the better. It took me 2 or 3 goes before I found the curtains for the top of the stairs and for the window in the dining room as well. The window here is quite short, so there was a lot of guesswork. I did put the measurements in my phone, but I kept forgetting to look, so eventually I found the perfect pair that fitted just right. And it's quite amusing really, because I think I paid £5 for a pair of gorgeous vintage curtains, and I wanted to make them fit this window, but they were too long. So I asked somebody in the village who's a seamstress and does that for a living, and she wanted, I think it was £80 per curtain to take them up. I was like, okay. I don't think so. I only paid £5 for them. So I kept looking and I found the perfect pair eventually. And just finishing off thinking about what you can thrift for your bedroom, rugs is a brilliant one. You can buy secondhand rugs everywhere. And again, if you're looking for something specific, look online, buy it secondhand online. You can always have them cleaned, but it will save you a huge amount of money. For instance, we have a gorgeous vintage rug in our entranceway, and we found that at a yard sale for £10. So if you have patience and you're willing to wait until you find the perfect thing, all the better. but if not, just source online if you can and find something secondhand online. The vintage rugs are definitely much better quality, so always worth going for vintage rather than a reproduction. So lastly, I was thinking about the living room, and obviously again we talked about it, furniture can be thrifted for your living room, but when we're thinking about smaller things, you can thrift books. I very rarely buy a book brand new now. I used to buy them all the time because I love books. If you watched the last video where we went to the secondhand bookshop in the village, yeah, you'll see I really love buying books. And there's just a thrill and a joy to finding them and buying them secondhand for me now. So I do that. And also you discover new authors, or you pick up and read books that you might not have ever done if you'd have bought it brand new. So yeah, books are a really lovely thing to buy secondhand. It saves them from landfill because a lot of books end up going to landfill. And everywhere you go, there's just an abundance of books. So it's probably better to reuse them. We've talked about furniture, so let's talk about soft furnishings such as cushion covers, blankets, we've already said rugs, throws, all that kind of thing for your living room. You can buy secondhand and you can find them, again, wherever you go. For me, again, finding things that suit this house has been a joy, but I've had to have patience because I haven't been looking for specific things. I've just been out looking to see, would that go nicely in our living space? Would that suit what I've bought for this? So yeah, I've had some patience, but I have found some really lovely things that I absolutely love, and I've been able to, really make our new living room cosy and to our taste. So our cushion covers are secondhand, and I think most of our blankets are secondhand as well. You just find them at yard sales and boot sales and stuff, where people are having a change and redecorating, so they're selling on their older stuff, and most of them are in lovely condition, haven't been used very much. So yeah, you can always find that sort of thing secondhand, and you don't need to spend the money on brand new. So we talked about electrical things before, and thinking about the living room, you can always buy secondhand televisions, radio, record players, stereos, so much out there. If you're willing to wait, then you can go to boot sales and find various different things there. But there are places like CEX and places like Cash Converters or something like that. If you're looking for something specific, they're really good places to go and buy electricals secondhand. My record player came from a Cash Converters. Nick's record player, I think he bought at a boot sale. I might be wrong there, but I know it's secondhand. So yeah, again, you don't need to spend all that money to buy new. You can always buy secondhand, save money, and have the joy of reusing something. So lastly, again, one of my very favourite things is ornaments. I love sort of the vintage knickknacks that I pick up all the time to resell and find very difficult to part with. I never thought that I would be that person that would have lots of ornaments around. I used to be quite minimalist and really curse having ornaments because you'd have to dust them. But since I started selling vintage homeware and vintage home decor, yeah, I've ended up keeping quite a lot of it, and sometimes what I call looking after things. So you enjoy it for a little while and then swap it out, pass it on, resell it, either at a boot sale or online, etc. And that way you can always find lovely things for your house, and it's just fun. It's fun finding these things, and when you do want to swap things out and have a change, then you don't feel too bad because you've not spent a lot of money on it. Similarly with artwork that we have in the house, most of it is secondhand, things that we've really taken a shine to when we've been out and about thrifting and decided would fit nicely in the house. And again, if you want to change, you want to swap it out, then it's easy to do and you don't feel bad about the cost of it either. So there we are. I hope I haven't waffled too much, but that's your 24 things that you could buy secondhand and thrift in 2024 rather than buying brand new. You're saving items from landfill. Very importantly, you're saving money, and that's a big thing right now. We all need to save the pennies because cost of living is so expensive, isn't it? The other important thing to focus on is that we are reusing things rather than buying another new thing and adding to what's already there. So saving money and helping the planet at the same time is a win-win. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below the things that you enjoy thrifting for yourself and for your house. And let me know if there's anything that I've inspired you with, maybe something that you haven't thought about buying secondhand before and you've thought, oh yeah, that's a good idea, I'll buy that secondhand this year. Yeah, I'd be really interested to know, so let me know below. And I'll be back with another video for you very soon. So take care everyone. Bye for now.